Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I want to give a little, like an update of what's going on with me kind of video. You know, when you get to be a person of a certain age, so many things happen, you know, especially physically. It changes and all. I don't know about everybody, but I'm pretty sure. But first off, when you hear like a woman of a certain age or a man of a certain age, what age do you think? Really? I think it's when you hit your 50s and up. But some people may differ. I'm curious what other people, I know what I think. What do you think? But anyway, I want to start off with something that I think is kind of strange. And I don't know if it's all connected. I'm not a healthcare professional or provider. Read the disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. This is just me talking about my life, and I don't know if it's true, you know, what causes or what. Anyway, 2.5 years ago, I was walking on a sidewalk like you see over here, you know, a sidewalk, getting some exercise as I always did. And one of the slabs, I guess they call them, for the sidewalk, you know, the sidewalk, one of them was on one, I think the left, on my right side. It was a little bit pushed up from the ground. I guess it had a lot of water there, so the water must have pushed it up a little bit. Well, my toe on my tennis shoe, you know, toe part of it, clipped that, hit it, and I fell. Okay, and it was one of those, you know, when you're running and trying to stop yourself from falling and you fall anyway. So it was pretty bad. It scraped up both of my knees, and it was awful, and I felt like it kind of busted my knee. That's the way I put it, busted my knees. And it took like a month or so to heal. I don't know, it was an outrageous time, and I couldn't stand up straight I had to weave back and forth for a long time too. And you know, that was both of my knees. And I remember I had rolled over on the grass part, and it was wet to get off the sidewalk so I could stand up. And I just stood up and walked home, and I made it home. I was probably like a block or a block and a half, you know, not the full block, but one leg of the block. Let's put it that way, you know, a couple of them. Anyway, I don't know how I did it, because, let's see, today, 3 weeks ago today, this is Sunday, the March 1st, I fell inside. It was kind of weird how I fell. It was kind of to the side and to my left side, like bam, hit the hardwood floors in my house. You know, it was a hardwood floor there. We also have carpet in other places, but I mean, it was bad, and it was on the side of a puppy pad. I guess you know, my foot went right on top of that part, and it slipped and pushed me forward and to the side, because there was a table there, and to the side, and hit that side of that knee. It was my left knee. Really bad. I mean, seriously, I could not get myself off the floor for an hour. And Adam, he's older than I, he wanted to help me, and my first thought was, no, I don't want to hurt you. And then I was thinking, what if we both got hurt? You know, what if, yeah, all kinds of things like that. What would happen? And, you know, and I was telling him when it first happened, I said, you know, I couldn't figure out how I was going to do it. I had to scoot across the hardwood floor into a different room, across two, to get to a bed. And he had to pull the pillow top off the bed, pull it back so I could actually throw my body on top of the bed to get up. And it was not good, because I could not put any pressure on that knee, and putting pressure on the other knee was not good. Yeah, it was but I was telling him when it happened that my brain's not working right. I cannot figure this out. I cannot figure out how to get up. And later on I said it in a funny way, which told that my brain was all messed up. It was and it was a messed up sentence. It was that I think it jarred some IQ scores out of my head. You see, all of that's wrong. Yeah, but I'm laughing now. It wasn't then. Oh my goodness! And once I got up, we had a cane, and I bought one, a different kind since then. But he had a cane, and I got on that bed, but the bed was too low for me. Okay, if I'm sitting down and my knees are higher than where my butt sits on the seat, I could not do that. It would hurt so bad. Now, I've had trouble with that past, I don't know how many years, say 5 at least or more. I found out, Adam and I hardly ever go. We go once, maybe every 2 to 3 years to a casino, and just to get away from home. We're not gamblers. Once every 2 to 3 years, no, we're not gamblers. And it was just something, like you go to some different kind of thing. And I was there, and I'm going to just flat out tell it like it is. If you're all sensitive, don't watch the rest of this video. But I went to the ladies' room and sat down, and I couldn't get up. Yeah, because the seat is lower than where my knees were. My lap was up. You see what I'm saying? My knees were higher than the seat. And I'm a tall woman. Okay, I should say that. Tall, and I have long legs. Anyway, and that was like, oh my goodness, what do you do? You're sitting there. You don't want to call anybody to help you. You see what I'm saying? And I made it up, but I learned my lesson. I go to the, the one for people who are disabled, and because they have a bar that'll help you, help a person get up. I used to always go because I'm tall, and those things are so small, really, but not always go, but sometimes. Anyway, I just couldn't do it. Well, when I fell like that just 3 weeks ago, I couldn't, okay, can imagine, hobbling around, and we got me on that bed, got me up on that bed. Well, I got me up, and he helped at the very end of it, to help me push all the way up. And I had to go to another bed. Now, I had been in that room because of dogs. One of our dogs has dementia, and I have to wake up all night long for it to let it out, to go do his business. He's got dementia. He just doesn't remember. He's now outside, and the weather's good enough to be outside. Anyway, so I was in that room because, Adam works, and he couldn't be woken up all night long on work nights. So I was staying in that room, so I had to go back to the master bedroom, which the mattress was too hard for me. I always thought it was too hard, but too hard for me because it put more pressure on that knee. The knee was bad. I mean, it hurt like you wouldn't believe. And I slept for the first, I think it happened around 10 o'clock that Sunday night, and I slept for the most part, until Tuesday morning around 10 o'clock. And, besides going to the bathroom and stuff. But like I was saying, I couldn't go. I went to the bathroom, take a blood pressure medication that has a diuretic. Well, every hour on the hour, I have to go to the restroom. And I went to the restroom that night after hitting it. Oh, my God, sitting down on a seat that was too low. Well, he had to go the next day and buy one of those extension seats. I'm serious. Thank goodness. Wow, it was horrible. It was just the worst pain to try to sit down. Standing up was no problem, but I was worried, what am I going to do? It's a little bitty, how sometimes they have little, the toilet basically has its own little room, and it's very tight. Yeah. And he went and bought an extension for the other room, the main one in the main part of the house. It's the half bath for the main part of the house. And the other one, he bought one of those things that you lift yourself up. And I'm like, okay, this isn't a little early for all this, but yeah. I had been telling him about that extension for a while because of my whole experience. I would have to use a table to help me up. Not a table, but but the sink. Luckily, it's really good. I'm kind of rambling here. Here's the weird thing with this. When I fell that first time, like I said, how you kind of run and you try to stop yourself. Well, when I got home, my heels were hurting really bad, and it wouldn't stop. I started buying insoles, and then the nurse practitioner, she told me that it was probably, planters, whatever it's called, but told me to buy insoles. I said, I already have. She said, buy more. I guess she liked to be the one to say, go and buy them. And only one out of many, many, many I tried worked, and of course I can't find any more. And I had to wear those anytime I walked. We have hardwood floors, but we had carpets over them. That was what was interesting. You know, not carpeting, but carpets, like, you know, rugs, carpets. They were thick enough, and we even put some foam underneath them. Still, my heels hurt all the time. When I wake up in the morning, they'd hurt. And I'm diabetic, so yeah, that brought about that. But the doctor's office, they said no, it was probably this. And anyway, when I fell this next time, that was 2.5 years ago. Since that day that I fell, that's when it started. 2.5 years later, and I asked Adam to, wasn't that when it started? And he said, yeah. So 2.5 years later, I fell again, but just on one knee. And guess what? Well, the right leg hardly ever, the right heel hardly hurt. It was the left leg back then, 2.5 years ago, is one that was really bad. Well, and I fell on it again just 3 weeks ago, really hard. And the odd thing, as you can figure out by now, is that heel stopped hurting. Seriously. I've been 3 weeks now. I've been saying, nah, that's it. Nah. Now, I don't know if there's a connection, but I was joking with Adam this morning. I said, still not hurting, because I was in a room that was carpeted for the first week. Really thick foam underneath it. Really soft. And, but since then I've been, you know, that was the first week. So these past 2 weeks I've been walking on the hardwood floor and without the insoles, and it's not hurting. Now, I told him today, like I was saying, that maybe just knock something back into place. You see why I would be wrong. All kinds of wrong with that. But, you know, we were just kind of joking, what could cause it, or, you know, trying to contemplate what would cause it suddenly to stop. I mean, night and day. It'd been 2.5 years, you know, 2.5 years, yeah. So, anybody ever experienced anything like that? You know, let me know. So now, another thing. Let's see, it's 3 months, and today would be 2 days, I guess. 3 months. We got a puppy. Oh my goodness, the first night we got the puppy, I nicknamed it Mayhem. It causes all kinds of mayhem. It really does. It was right for me too. It was a little puppy. It was a month and a half. It was a rescue, and that's important. It was a rescue. We didn't know enough about it. We were told it was 2 months, and blah 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 blah, on and on down that line. And it's half German, half not German. Let's see, half Black Lab and half Australian Shepherd. And it's going to be a good sized dog, and it is very muscular dog. It's grown like, whoo, wow, really, I did not know that they grew that much. And we've had it at the vet since the day, you know, that first week when we got an appointment, and we've been 3 times since, so 3 months and 2 days, yeah. Anyway, so he's got his shots and all the kind of deworming, and we went through all that, and so forth. We've been through so many puppy pads because the inside dog couldn't put it outside because it couldn't get its rabies shot until, what was it, however many weeks, 16, I don't know how many, not 16, anyway, it was a long time. It got used to being in the house. It destroyed so much stuff. Like I say, it hates anything that has to do with cleaning or being clean. You know, anything. Not just the mops and brooms and stuff like that. I'm used to dogs that are scared of things like vacuum cleaners and brooms and stuff like that. Not this one, but it goes beyond that. Things, you know, like you spray the aerosol, you know, for that. That's not really cleaning, but to make the house smell fresh, especially when you got a puppy that, whoa, wow. And I called it a pee and poo making machine, but he would try to grab that. He couldn't stand anything that meant anything that was going to be clean, look good. Yeah. And there was one other thing I said today. I can't remember what it was. That puppy hates. Yeah. But anyway, we had to get to where we, you know, are teaching it to stay outside. Seriously, it was just so much. It was too much. It was too much. Plus, we have the old dog with dementia. And that dog is a big dog. He's got a lot of cyst. Yeah, we get him, of course, checked out, but we have not been able to get him in the back of the SUV for a while, and the vet is taking care of him through just us telling him what's going on with him. We don't expect him to live very long, you know. And but anyway, we had to teach them how to stay outside. We have this huge patio that is cedar. It's cedar wood, I think. It closes it in. It's not an open patio at all. At all. I had a phone call. I don't know if it messed up that last one, but Adam called me, and I have been telling him since we started getting those coronavirus, you know, recommendations to go and get, you know, stock up at least 2 weeks. Some say yes, some say no. I don't know. I think most say yes. You know, I'm not going to give any references, whatever. I like to watch MSNBC myself. Anyway, you know, I have been I went and got some meat, and while I was at there, anyway, I went and got some meat, and went and got some at one store, and then another store. I ordered stuff to be delivered yesterday. It was delivered in little odds and ends like perishables, even though, you know, main thing I want is non-perishable. And he was going to go to Costco yesterday, and he changed it to today, and I kept telling him during the week, you're not going to want to go to Costco on the weekend. The last time he went, he had a panic attack. Well, he just called me. He said, no way, I'm not going in there, no way. You wouldn't believe how crowded it is. What is with these people? Well, what are you doing, you know, dude? He wanted to go see, he said, I want to see this stuff. I'm going to go, you know, see what kind of cans foods they have, what kind of, you know, box foods, what kind, you know, those things. Kept telling him, look online, you can see what they have, and you can order it to be delivered. You know, we've done this before. No, he's stubborn. I'm telling you. And I'm like, okay, I was just, you know, yesterday he changed his mind from yesterday, and then he was going to do it today. He was kind of saying, I don't know. I was like, yeah, I kind of knew he was going to do that. But he went there, and he was there, and just now called me to tell me, you hear that wind? It is extremely windy today. That is unbelievable, isn't it? It's been since last night. But anyway, he called me and said, you just wouldn't believe, like I was saying, he said, you just wouldn't believe how many people, I cannot believe this. He says, okay, can you order this stuff to be delivered yourself? I said, yes, I'd already told you that. And that's what I don't have a problem telling people I told you so. Oh, no, I don't have a problem with that. Because if they listened to you in the first place, seriously, you know, I had one of my first videos, it was like 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, that I did on this other channel about this topic. But, you know, it was that. Why do we have such a problem saying, I told you so? Yeah, we were taught not to say that. But who taught us not to say that? People who didn't listen, who didn't learn from other people's experiences, their own experiences, and then they want to cry to us, you know, or blame it on us. Something. I don't have a problem telling them, I told you so. You should have listened. You should have listened. You know, seriously, I don't have a problem with that. How many of us were taught otherwise? I was taught not to. I didn't for years until I started learning more about people like narcissistic types. Yeah, this wind is wild, man. I know it's wild. I mean, I've lived here for most of the past 20 years, and in this area for most of the past 40 years. You know, Texas, north central Texas. Anyway, so where was I? I was going to give updates on things, and I was talking about the puppy. But we've had to teach the puppy and the old dog that they have to stay outside. It's like I said, it's a fenced in, not fenced in. It has a wall, and then the top part is screen, dark tinted screen, and then above that is a deck, and it has a roof. So it's huge. It's bigger than a car. Okay, it is bigger than an SUV, my SUV. Yeah, and I'd say it's bigger than the big SUVs. So they have plenty of room. They have 3 beds out there right now, and we feed them every day, you know, this kind of thing, but it's been tough because they want to come back in the house. Now, of course, we've had to bring them in because sometimes it got, you know, in the 40s and below at night. The feels like was, you know, freezing or below. No way was going to allow them to be out there. And when the summertime, when our temperatures get into hundreds and 110s, no way am I going to allow them to be outside and burn up. So, you know, I'm not cruel to him. He had to call me back because he said it was, you know, so windy. So, and he called me back. It is extremely windy, like I said. So I've lost track with all this, but he's going to go get us something to eat at jalapenos. It's called jalapenos. I want fajitas. But anyway, I was talking about the dogs. So we're teaching the dog to stay outside, the dogs to stay out there, and they're finally getting used to it. But like I said, it had been really, you know, cold. Now, like I said, I would not put them in any danger. We're animal lovers. Like I said, the puppy's a rescue. So, and so was really, in a way, the big dog with dementia was too, because he got him. I wasn't here. I wasn't living here at the time. You know, living with him at the time, and he got it at the Humane Society. He went into, I think, one of them he did, and the other one he didn't, and it was the runt, and the dogs were picking on it, and yeah. But anyway, so they were both kind of rescues, but this was a different kind of rescue, the puppy, new puppy. Anyway, well, it says it's 70 degrees, and it's 11:47. Yay! Not cold. And the dogs are learning, and what else has been going on? These are the main things. And of course, you know, me having a puppy around, the puppy kept doing this. I'm serious. It seemed like it understood that was my bad leg, so it made it worse. I'm not kidding. It's like, okay, this puppy has no manners. It's total mayhem. Yeah. I didn't name him from the commercial. No, I named him because that's what he does. He creates total chaos and mayhem. And unbelievable. And he gets in this like crazy mood that he will run all through the house and the downstairs. It's a big house, and just at warp speed. And I'm like, I can't have that when I'm healing from a knee injury. No way. I can't have that any time. He can knock me over, you know, either one of us, any of us, anybody who's here. So I think that was good. To me, dogs are meant to be outside. They're not to be inside animals. Okay, I know some people say, well, that's, and some people say, well, of course, especially big dogs like that. And then some people would say no. You know, not at all. All dogs should be inside. They got their shots. They're in where it is. They cannot get out, and they wouldn't want to get out. The puppy is terrified. Puppy loves people, but it's terrified of things like SUVs, any noise. The people who come and do our lawn service came yesterday. He's terrified of any kind of noise. Maybe he hears things louder than usual. I wonder about that. So he doesn't even want to be out in the front yard. He's terrified of the front yard. We used to walk him from day one out the front door, and nope, he won't go. So he's not going to try to get out. And the other dog with dementia, he's not going to get out. He never liked being out in the front yard, never. So he'll go do his business out in the front if he has to. Every once in a while he likes to walk, but he won't try to run away. I don't think he could. I don't think he can run, even. Yeah, you don't have to run to run away. But anyway. Okay, so now other updates. You know, I've made all these videos about some of the health concerns, but all my videos, very few actually, seem to be about health concerns. But here's another one. You remember I'd tried going different places where I could, do exercises and stuff like that, and tried starting sometime last year. I had been waiting forever for one of them, Rec Center, to get finished, and all this on and on. But anyway, I found one. I had been to more than one, and one of them I did not like. I liked it, but the people were rude. And then I went to another one. Finally happy, paid for a year. It was like $151 or something like that. Paid for a year, and liked it, was going in it. But I kept noticing an odor. And it's a huge one, and it was newly remodeled and all that, and there was always this odor. Like once you get to where the machines are, yeah. And it's a big place where the machines are. And anyway, when it started getting cold and they had to run the heater. Oh my goodness, that just went poof, unbelievably. And I just stopped going to them, but then I called them and said, hey, what's going on with that? Y'all got a gas leak or something? It didn't really smell like that kind of natural gas, but it smelled awful. They said, we've already put in 2 work orders, and they said, nothing's wrong. I said, well, it still smells like that. And they said, yeah, a lot of people have complained. And I think they just don't have the right kind of ventilation or something. I don't know. I am not an expert on that for certain. Anyway, I was doing videos about that, and I said that I kept having problems walking, and I'd had that for a long while. Well, that's because, as I've realized, it was because I've been wearing knee pads only when I'm going out somewhere. And I might fall down. Since 2.5 years ago when I fell down on the concrete. Yeah, I started wearing knee pads. Anyways, I figured that out. Whoa, 2.5 years, you figure something? I had suspected it, but I just didn't think that they would cause that much problem with the bottom leg. You know, not having so many cramps, I'd have to walk a little bit and sit down. I really did not think it would do that bad. But then so I stopped using them, and guess what? Now that I fell again, yeah, I'm using them even more often. I wasn't using them in the house. You know, like I said, we had carpeted. But because of the puppy, we had to remove carpets. Yeah, it's awful. And we just removed yet another one this morning. And it's been taking us a while to get the house back to normal. And then that's our norm from before any of the dogs. And one of them, the one with the dementia, is like 12, 13, 14 years old. Somewhere around there. And you know, I like a house where there's no animals walking underneath you that can make you fall down. The puppy, by the way, I had right from the beginning, day 1, I put or day 2, I put a collar on it with a bell, so I would always know where it is if it was moving. Yeah, hopefully. So now I'm gonna have to wear the knee pads, but like I only wear them when I'm walking. Okay, and then I take them off or just push them all the way down to where they're not tight around my knees. And my knee has been improving, but it finally started popping yesterday, I think, you know, on a regular basis, which I kept feeling from the beginning. It needs to pop, something needs to pop. You know, it just, you know how you feel like you have an air bubble? That's what it felt. It was very irritating to feel unless you know, have an air bubble. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I really don't know. I'm not a healthcare professional. But it feels better. It feels much better. I'm not still a little wobbly, so I don't do much cooking. I don't cook at all on the stovetop when he's not home. I can put stuff in the oven because it's got a timer on it. But the stovetop, no. Plus we need a new stovetop, yet another one. It's a flat one, and one of them will turn itself high, all by itself. The second one has done that. And so no, you know, when he's not here, I finally started really thinking of that. When I'm alone at home trying to cook, if something happened, like I fell and couldn't get up for an hour, that could be bad. Really, really bad. Anyway, I think that's enough for this one. It's probably really long as it is, and he's probably about to be home with us some food before you know it. And I like to eat it when it's hot. I don't like cold food. And these days it seems like food gets cold, even when you cook it yourself. Anyway, I just wanted to do some updates about stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, wrapping it up. Talk to you on another video.